The NFL released their restricted free agent tenders, which is huge because this is Jauan Jennings. One of the most common things, and I think we're finally past this, is everybody's like, well, Jauan Jennings is a free agent. Yes and no. His first year, it told his contract because he never played. So he's already had 4 years in the NFL, but it's almost as if he's only had 3. So his right of first refusal, like the 49ers can tag him at different spots. I think he's going to get a second round tender, which would be 4.89 million against the cap. It's a very healthy, number. Now another team could say, you know what? We would like to do that. We want Jauan Jennings on our team. So they could negotiate a deal and say, look, we're going to give him the 4.89 million, but then they'd have to give us a second round pick. I just don't see that happening. Now, the other option is to do the original round tender, which is a 7th round tender, and that would be 3.1 million. Now, a team more than likely would do that. So that's why I don't think the 49ers would use that tag, because then they would just have to give a 7th round pick and pay him $3.1 million. And you're talking about a team like the Commanders who are trying to implement a similar system and all those things. That makes sense. So I think he's going to get a second round tender, 4.89. I do not believe that a team would trade a second round pick for Jauan Jennings in the last year of his deal. I just don't see that taking place. So I'm happy for him because it's more money than he would have got on his rookie deal. It's not as much as if he hits the free agent market next year. And I even saw some people that are like, look, you could just do a right of first refusal at 2.9 million, which is an option. And that means if another team, they can negotiate with him however they want. Let's say a team comes out and says, look, we're going to give you 3 years, $18 million. And the Niners say, no, we can't match that. You lose Jennings, and it doesn't go into the comp pick formula. So that's why most teams, they don't even touch that right of first refusal, just straight up contract. Instead, they use the round tender so that if a team does try to take him away, you get that second round pick. I just don't see that taking place. And I freaking love Jauan Jennings. It's funny because I had a lot of people talk about, oh, what about Kendrick Bourne, right? Kendrick Bourne was Jauan Jennings before Jauan Jennings. He's a free agent now. Let's go get him. And I love Kendrick Bourne. Dude, like, I don't want this to come across as like Kendrick Bourne slander, because I don't think that's what Kendrick Bourne was great. I mean, he brought energy. He was fun as hell, personality off the charts, first downs, touchdowns. That's all he did. But just because him and Jennings look alike and played the same position, they are night and day different. Kendrick Bourne was the worst blocking wide receiver we had on our team 3 consecutive years in a row. Jauan Jennings is the best run blocking wide receiver in the NFL. Like, he's number 1. So I think that's huge. Their body types are completely different. I went through a whole bunch of stats, but I don't want to overload that. They're just different. And so having said that, it's not like I don't want Kendrick Bourne, but you have to pay way more than what you. So, like, if you wanted to get Kendrick Bourne, you're not getting him for $4.8 million. Kendrick Bourne's going to get $7 to $8 million a year. That's what he was getting in New England. He's going to get that money somewhere. I think he's a good wide receiver. I would love for him to be on this team. But if you're asking me, Kendrick Bourne or Jauan Jennings, holy cow. That's not even like, they're not even in the same ballpark, in my opinion, for our system. If you prioritize run blocking at all, yeah, dancing right here. Jennings was on track for Super Bowl MVP. You're not wrong. And so, like, that's, you have Jennings one more year, then he gets paid somewhere to get a comp pick. That's what's going to happen. Not that that's what I want to happen, but I'm just telling you that's what it is. You're not going to extend 3 wide receivers. You can't do that. You can, even though I want to. I would love these 3 to be the guys forever, but probably not going to happen. And I think he's kind of playing himself out of a contract with the 49ers, which is good for him. I want him to get paid.
The 49ers Rush Podcast.